today I wanted to do a different type of video. I kind of want to do maybe like a review kind of video. I want to have a series of review videos where I review certain types of products and services and brands. And so today, since I am a mom, I have a 1-year-old daughter, I wanted to review baby brands and baby products and just kind of give my own personal opinion. My plan was to breastfeed the first 6 months, and that's pretty much what I did, but I did end up having to supplement my daughter because breastfeeding is extremely hard and it was very stressful, and I got to a point where I just couldn't pump anymore. I wasn't pumping out enough milk, so I did have to supplement her. I didn't use that many brands. I used just a few, but I did find really quickly which ones just did not work for me, just because I was I'm married, but when I had my daughter, I was here. I had her alone. My husband was overseas, so and I have 2 other sons, so I was running a household by myself. So I kind of needed things that were convenient and quick, and I just found some bottles just wasn't good for convenience and quickness. So I guess I'll start out with the brand that I disliked the most, and that was Dr. Brown's. It just, number one, they're just really narrow bottles. They have the really narrow necks. And this is kind of difficult when you have like a newborn that's screaming in the middle of the night and you have to fix a bottle and you have to get the formula into this little narrow neck here. And that's just too much because you got to be kind of quick. And I also didn't like the fact that you have all these little pieces that you have to put together, and you have to put them together right. And then there's also another piece, a little flat piece that goes on top of this, so that if you're if you're in transit with these bottles, it supposedly keeps it from leaking. So there's just so many parts to this bottle. You have to put that in like that, stick it in the bottle, and then you have to make sure it's on right and screw the nipple part on. And then that's just too much to me. And then I found that these bottles, they leaked. So I would have to wrap it up in a towel and shake it to keep milk from going everywhere. And I found these just didn't work. And I had 2 kinds. And they just didn't work for me. Too much work. And then when it comes time to clean them, like I said, I was kind of doing it by myself. So I had to do it in my free time. Like if she was sleeping. And so when she was sleeping, I had things to choose from that I need to do. I rest, I eat, I wash bottles, I pump, or I take a shower or do laundry. So in that little bit of time that she would take her naps, I needed to get bottles clean. I had so much that I had to do. And these next bottle, I'm going to save the best for last. Moving on to the next bottle was the Similac bottle. I don't think they sell these individually. I got them from my lactation specialist. But I did like them because they have the really, really wide neck. So they're really quick to clean, and it makes it easy when you're fixing the bottle up because there's so much room. You don't have to worry about spilling formula anywhere. And then they have these little blue notches right here. So when you put the bottle on, you'll know when it's on right. If the little blue notches meet into the triangle, but these would leak too. So I didn't like that either, and then they broke easily. I had another one, but my daughter dropped it and it cracked and broke. And she's dropped all her bottles. Like she would just throw them when she was done with them. And none of them cracked and broke, but this brand did. So, and I did use Playtex, the curved bottles. I didn't like those because when I put it in the somehow or another it was leaking from the bottom when I would put it in my bottle warmer. And so I don't have time for that. And I would think anybody else with a newborn baby doesn't have time for bottles that you can't count on. So I wouldn't recommend that either. But lastly is the brand that I fell in love with was Avent. And these are the 2 sizes that I have. But I love these bottles. They have a wide neck, and then there's not much to the bottle. It's this ring, it's the bottle, the ring, and then the little cap, and you just put it on, shake it up. Very rarely leaked. The only time it really leaked was if the ring wasn't in right, or if the ring wasn't in, period. But these are really good bottles. I really love these. And they also have the I think these are like the Natural brand bottles. And what's supposed to be so special about these is the fact that the nipple is kind of shaped like the mom's nipple. So if you're supplementing, or if you're trying to get your bottle from breastfeeding, get your baby from breastfeeding to the bottle, this is supposed to make it easier. I found that these bottles, they never leaked. Never, ever, 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 ever. Shake them up, turn them all types of ways, and they never leaked. So I really did like these. I only had 2 because these were a little bit more expensive. The Avent bottles are expensive bottles. Because I did begin with that when you keep a whole lot of bottles when you're trying to breastfeed, it just makes it that much more easier for you to give up and, you know, go to the bottle. So I didn't want to keep a whole bunch of bottles around. But oh, and I think the good thing about the Dr. Brown's bottles is this little blue thingy that's in here. I think it's supposed to help with gas, so that the baby won't get so gassy. I think it's supposed to somehow keep air from getting inside the bottle, keep them from sucking up air. As we all know, you know, that's supposedly gives them really bad gas and hurts their stomach. So I think that's the good thing about these, is it's supposed to, you know, help them to not get gas. Let me just say, I don't think I like Dr. Brown's products, period. This is a sippy cup. This is a Dr. Brown sippy cup that I have for my daughter because she's drinking out of sippy cups now. I don't care for this. It leaks really bad. It has water in it because it was in her diaper bag and it leaked somehow. I don't know how. I don't even know that. And it's leaking right now. So there you go. See? And I had some little plates for her from Dr. Brown's, and these things you can't even put them in the microwave. So I guess, I mean, it would be good before you get to the point where you're warming up there. I guess it would be good before you, I don't know, but they don't work for me because they can't go in the microwave. And she's really funny about what she eats, so she doesn't always eat the same thing we're eating. We usually have to, she has her own little stash of food, and it gets refrigerated. So when I'm, you know, and making her lunch or making her dinner, I have to take it out the refrigerator and warm it up. And these plates, I can't put them in the microwave. So that's not convenient for me. Now Dr. Brown's may have some products that would work and be alright, but I just haven't found them yet. And I also had the bottle warmer. I don't even know that a bottle warmer is necessary. I started out warming her milk up on the stove, and I kind of found that to be an inconvenience because I got tired of having to, when she woke up in the middle of the night, having to go out into the kitchen to warm up the bottle. So I got this bottle warmer and I put it on my nightstand, and I found that if it didn't get the milk warm, it got it way too hot. Like the milk was too hot, so I had to try and cool it down. I either had to sit it down and wait while she's, you know, upset and frantic, or I had to go try and run it under some, like hold the bottle under cold running water. Hungry. You don't want to have to go through all those changes. So I mean, I probably just wasn't using the proper time setting, but I just couldn't do without it. Try it out. Now I'm not saying that Dr. Brown's just sucks altogether, because it may work for somebody else. It just didn't work well for me, and I wouldn't, you know, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't even waste my time and my money with Dr. Brown's. We did Similac and I think I tried Enfamil, and that was it. And I stuck to Similac because I think it was supposed to be the formula that was the most closest to breast milk. So I did Similac. My daughter had no issue with Similac. She didn't have any issue with any formula, either one of them. And people will tell you that breastfed babies, they are really hard to, you know, they won't take formula at first. And at first, she did kind of turn her nose up to it, but she did take it. It wasn't, I think the first initial time she didn't really want to drink it, but the second time she drank it. And there is a difference between formula and breast milk. Breast milk is supposed to be sweeter. So some breastfed babies don't really take to it. They really refuse it, and some don't. My daughter didn't. She took it. I mean, she refused that one time, but she took it all the other times. I only used Enfamil like once. So all I'm going to say is Similac is expensive. So you can try any kind. Your baby may probably take to any kind of breast milk. I mean, any kind of formula. It's just all depending on how you feel about that brand. So, I remember a family friend recommended Huggies diapers. Now for my baby shower, I got so many different brands of diapers. I was lucky enough to be able to try a lot of different brands without having to pay. But I found Huggies to be the brand that worked the least for me. My daughter kept having accidents, like when she would, you know, urinate, it would leak out of those diapers. So it was a good brand for the price. And Pampers Pamper brand was just awesome. I love that. That's what we used for a long time with her. The Pampers brand, they have the little yellow strip on the front, and it turns green or blue when the diaper is dirty or wet. Use the Parent Choice, that's a Walmart brand. Those were terrible. They were really dry, and so it took more wipes to get her cleaned up. So they're cheap, but I didn't like them. I felt like they were too dry. So I went back to Huggies, and I used Huggies for a long time. And then I noticed that we had a Sam's membership, and we buy her stuff in bulk. And I noticed that the Sam's brand of wipes were cheaper, and they had way more. So now we use those. I don't know what the brand is exactly, but it comes in this long, narrow green box. And they last a really long time, and they're really good. They are wet, and it doesn't take a whole bunch to get the mess cleaned up. So I would recommend those. That is all I can think of right now as far as baby products. But I really did want to do this video, especially with the diapers, because I think that is something that you kind of have to play around with. And diapers can be quite expensive, and it's something that you have to have. Now, we did not do cloth diapers, so I don't know how those work out. But if anybody has tried cloth diapers, let me know what it was like and which one would you prefer, cloth or the disposable diapers. I prefer the disposable diapers. I don't want to be bothered with cloth diapers. I already had enough to do. So hopefully my advice will help you. Hopefully it'll answer some questions. If it did not, let me know what other questions or concerns you may have in the comment box down below. Or concerns or comments or suggestions or advice, please leave them in the comment box below. If you were interested in this video, if you enjoyed this video, if you like anything about this video, anything at all, if you like my white boring background, please rate and subscribe.